So welcome, both of you. And so I have this recording. So you can get a copy of this after if you find, I want to show this to so-and-so, or I want to show this to my kids, because it is quite good information when I discovered it about 6 years ago. And so with the few of us there, feel free to have your mics kept on. And so first of all, we're just going to start with the introductions, then I'll do my presentation, and then there will be some free gifts at the end. And so introductions, if you want to just tell me your name, location, and why you're here. We'll start with Jacqueline.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Whitwer, and I'm in Idaho. My husband, Eric, is right here somewhere.
Hello, Eric.
Hello.
And so I'm excited about this one because I need more time management help. So, yeah. So there you go.
Excellent. Thank you. And Suzette.
I'm Suzette, and I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I have now had to take over all my own finances in life, and I just need a little help.
Okay, excellent. Well, welcome. Now, I'm just going to see how we can view this. You don't see everything. Anyway. No, I just have to figure out what I just did. Okay, well, we're just going to have to do that. So time is our most precious resource. Time is, for all of us, a gift from God or the universe, and it's given to us as part of our life stewardship. And what is stewardship? It's the job of supervising or taking care of something, such as an organization or property, or in this case, the time that we've been given. So we need to make the most out of our time. We need to have a reason why we want to make the most out of our time, why we want to use our time wisely. And it should be to get what you want, to get what you need, and to get what you want. The bad news is time flies, but the good news is you're the pilot. So we all have the same 24 hours. We just sometimes might not get in the plane. And others get in the plane and go somewhere. So time management is actually false. We cannot manage time. We only self-manage how we use our time. And so time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you cannot get more time. Self-management of your time is self-management of your gift of time. And so we need to make sure that it's a gift that was given to us. We never know when it's going to finish. So we need to make the most of our time. Now, today's presentation I take from this book, which is awesome if you want to really get in more deeper. This is Rory Vaden. I was introduced to him about 6 years ago when I was doing Pathway at BYU, Idaho. And we're talking about time management, and this was recommended it was a video, which you'll see links of that you can watch. It's a TEDx video. I watched that and I was so impressed that I had to buy the book and read the book, and it's great. It's great for your personal life, or if you have a business. It was life-changing. So I actually contacted Rory because I had created this presentation, which I've performed at a national YSA convention in many things. So I actually got his permission to use this because he's moved on from time management and consulting to branding of companies. All this information I'm allowed to promote and use. Okay, so we're going to talk about 3 eras of time management. And the first era was all about efficiency. One-dimensional thinking. And I'm just going to make sure I refer to my notes because I haven't done this presentation for so long. I want to make sure that I don't leave things out. So error 1 was thinking all about efficiency. It was a kind of time management that started in the 50s and the 60s that started on the heel of manufacturing. It was predicted on the idea of doing things faster. All things being equal, efficiency is good, but there is a limitation to efficiency. And so this was kind of after the, okay, and so how many tasks can you complete in a day? So error 1 was in a logo. If we had to put a picture to it, because I'm very visual, you're a runner. You're just, back then it was just how much we can get done. And if you can imagine those old manufacturing things, you know, they were there just, you know, the supervisors were there just to push them to see if they can get as much done as they can in their thing. But when you're a runner, you'll eventually trip and fall. A man should not run faster than he has strength. Otherwise, he will have burnout, which I've experienced a few times. And I'm sure that some of you have done that as well, where we just don't respect and realize that we can't just keep running. We have to take times to rest. Now, you'll notice here that I'm wearing a badge. Oh, I'm busy. A lot of people, we all get busy. But it's sad to say that we even wear this badge as a badge of honor. As though being busy by itself is an accomplishment or a sign of a superior life. Is it? No, the adversary has a powerful tool to use against good people. It is distraction. He would have good people fill life with good things, so there is no room for the essential ones. Have you been unconsciously caught in this trap? Raise your hand. Yeah. My favorite slide. Some of you who have children, this may remind you of maybe a child or two. You ask them to do something and they're just so busy. They're laying on their bed looking at their phone, but they're just so busy. In fact, I invited my daughter to come and join in. And she's so busy. And she's in there laying on her bed. So the first step to get over our self-indulgence, complaining about how we're so busy or that we just don't have the time, is if you're saying this to yourself, then you are allowing yourself to be a victim. You are not a victim. You are capable. You are powerful enough to decide what you will and won't do with your time. One thing you are not is too busy. So I'm going to take off my badge because none of us should carry this around as a badge of busyness. And if we're so busy, then if someone really needs help, if someone comes to us and really needs help, then we won't be able to be available to them. Okay, so now we're going to go into error 2. So error 1 was all about efficiency. Error 2 is about prioritizing. Now, many of you probably heard of Stephen Covey. He's the one that brought in error 2 in like the early 80s. And it was all about, I can't even think of some factor. Anyway, but it was how important it is or how urgent it is. And so it was all about prioritizing the tasks you had to do. We still refer to prioritizing as the cure-all for all our time management problems, but it does not help you get to the other items on your list completely. It does not create more time. Prioritizing simply is borrowing time from one activity for another. We all have 168 hours in our week. How you prioritize will determine on how you spend your time. When we put our beliefs and values first, all other things fall into their proper place or they drop out of our lives. Our commitment to our values must govern the claims to our affection, the demands of our time, the interests we pursue, and the order of our priorities. And so I want you to kind of think of, as we go through the session, where do you spend a lot of your time during the day? And do they meet up with your values, your beliefs, and the things that are most important to you? Okay. So prioritizing does not create more time. We are simply just borrowing time from one area of our life to the other. And of course, when you're taking from something, you have less in that area. So we need to decide what that is. Now, you've probably seen this presentation done before where prioritizing does not create more time, but done in the right order, you will accomplish so much more. So by putting in the rocks first, which are the essential things you need to do for the day, and then the pebbles, and last the sand, you're going to get all that stuff into the jar. If you do it the opposite way, doing all the fun things first and leaving the essential things, it's not going to fit. So that's really important, the order that we do things. So you are a juggler, okay? All the balls are all the things that we want to accomplish, all the areas in our life, family, finance, fun, social, church. And we're just, saying which one we're going to do. Okay. And I keep glitching. Okay. I'm not sure why that would be. I might just turn off my volume and turn it back on again. Okay. Is that better? Okay. Just kind of raise your hand or do that if that goes again. Okay, so now we're going to get into the third era or the modern era of time management. And this was taken, Rory Vaden was a real big follower of Stephen Covey. And he actually built a business under the concepts that he taught. And so he would go in and really help businesses become really more efficient. But then he discovered this other modern three, and this is what has really made a difference in my life. Okay, so era one was how soon does it matter? How much can we get done? How quick can we get things? Era two was how much does it matter? Is it important or urgent? Prioritizing. Era three is how long does it matter? The task that you are currently doing, how long will the results of that task yes, urgent is talking about deadlines. When we talk about, urgency is yes. Era one was we want to get as much done as quick as possible. Okay, that was the manufacturing age. Remember, where it had nothing to do with prioritizing. It was just let's get as much done as we can in the day. And at the end of the day, you just collapse because you ran all day. Era two was how much does it matter? So you're looking at all the tasks that you need to do during the day and you're prioritizing them to see which one is more important at the time. But of course, if you spend time with one, then something else is lacking. Era three, welcome, Vicki. We're just talking about time management here. And so we've talked about era one, era two, and now we're in the new era three. And that is how long does it matter? So whatever task you're doing, how long will it matter? For example, you guys are watching this webinar and participating in this webinar now. You are going to learn some tips. You are going to learn some things that's going to change the way that you self-manage your time. So how long will it matter? It's going to go longer than this hour presentation because you're going to go and implement the things. And so it is a significant thing what you are doing now. And so that's the thing is area 3 is what is the significance of the task you're doing in relation to how long will the results or reward of doing that task last? Okay. So it does include getting things done. It does include the important urgent, but we really want to know about how long will it matter. So can I have someone read this, Jackie?
You multiply your time by giving yourself the emotional permission to spend time on things today that will give you more time tomorrow.
Yes. So there's some things, and generally the things that you are procrastinating are things that will really make a difference in some cases. In some cases, it's not. But if we keep procrastinating them, then we'll never get that reward. So multipliers, and that's what we're learning, is about multiplying your time. So in the world today, a new type of thinker has emerged. They don't manage their time. They don't prioritize their time. They multiply their time. Multipliers have figured out to actually create more time. Welcome to era 3 of time management thinking. So how in the world do you multiply your time? Simply adding this one element of consideration to your thinking instantly, and I'll go back to this, instantly has emotional effects on the options you choose. Those making the significant calculation are not only considered what matters now, but also what matters later. So we're going to talk about significant. Does it pass the significant calculation? What is the significance of what you're doing right now? What's the calculation of how long it's going to matter? This results in resisting the temptation to mainly focus on those urgent tasks. So a lot of times those urgent tasks are, well, if you're a mom or even, it's someone's coming to you because they procrastinated and they need you to urgently fix this. Okay, so a lot of times it's not that we procrastinate, it's someone else procrastinated and they want us to fix their problem. But by investing on significant tasks today, you will eliminate urgencies tomorrow. Now, I do not like emergencies. I don't like people coming to me at the last minute and asking me to do something. Okay. And I've kind of taught people around me that I won't do that. If you procrastinate, you experience the consequences of that. Don't come to me and want me to fix it all, because otherwise I'm teaching them how to treat me. And we all need to teach people how to treat us. So I want you to think of what you've done so far today. What passed the significant calculation? What did you do today so far that you got the immediate result then, but that will continue to have that result even after you stop doing it? Mm-hmm. Okay, those are the things that multiply our time, because we're doing something today that gives us the results today, plus tomorrow, plus the next day, plus the next day, and into the future. Okay, so era 3, you are a seed planter. You think, what do you have to do? What do you want to accomplish in the future? let's make a plan. Now, those of you who are in my spending plan course knows that the whole concept of the spending planner is a plan. Thinking now and planning your future spending. It's the same with time management. And that's why when I found the spending plan system 20 years ago, because it had to do with time, I've always loved time management. As a kid, I used to like it. And then I remember I moved here to Australia. And those of you who may remember Franklin Covey organizers. Well, before we had kind of electronic things, we all had those really nice organizers, and it had everything in it. Well, I had the guy who created that, which is, I can't think of his name. Anyway, I had cassette tapes, and it was a time management course that I did, and it had a workbook, and I worked through that as a young mother, and I was just always looking for ways that I could manage my time better. So we need to plan. We need to plan what we're going to do so that we can see and get the results in the future. What we don't want to do, and what I do not do, and I teach people around me, I am not your firefighter. I am not going to come in and put out your fires because you didn't plant a seed. I remember one of my daughters, it was 7:00 on a Thursday morning, and she says, Mom, she was in high school, Mom, I have home ec today, and we're cooking, and I'm supposed to bring 1 kilo of chicken breasts. Now, it started at 8. It's like, I won't say the name. When did you find out this? Well, she had just remembered. Luckily, we had some in the thing. Otherwise, I would not have gone and bought some for her. She would have had to go and get the consequence of not having her chicken. And if they were making a group dinner and that was the main part, yeah, her peers would not have been but that would have been a lesson she would have remembered than if I just went and put out that fire and bought her chicken for her and saved the day. So we have to look at our relationships and make sure we are not being a firefighter for other people's procrastination and laziness because they are not looking ahead and planting a seed. Okay, so time management is not logical. It is emotional. And that's one of the biggest things that Rory Vaden is that we make decisions emotionally, not logically, when it comes to our time management. So I'm going to introduce now a focus funnel. Now you'll see if you have, and at this point, this is where I'll show you, if you downloaded the workbook, okay, that has the eras, so you should have had it written in. Now we're going to talk about the focus funnel. And then we're going to kind of go through each of them, which is kind of the rest of the worksheet. Now, there is at the end where you will get, let me just show you, you will get a handout for things that we've discussed here. But it's always good to use a worksheet and to kind of write that down and make any notes, because you're going to get thoughts and impressions as I talk through these things that might not even have anything to do with this, but that's okay. I know when I'm in church and I might just get an impression and it's nothing about what they're saying or what we're singing, but that's the time when I always make notes of that. Okay, so the focus funnel, every day we have tasks and the tasks go in the top. We all know what a funnel is. Let me see if I can do that. It comes out the bottom. It's wider at the top and comes down the bottom. And so with the things we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about the choices we have as well as the permissions we need to give ourselves. The first one is eliminate. So anytime something comes into your day or something that you think you want to do, you need to think of this first one. Do I need to eliminate it? Okay, is it? And so this is the sculpture principle. Perfection is not only when nothing more can be added, but also when nothing more can be taken away. Okay, before I go, I'm just going to go back to this emotional one. This was like 6 years ago. And I can testify that things are done based on emotion. Now, when I received an invitation to do this workshop, and this workshop I had been asked to do it for the national convention, there was like 1,000 single adults there. And I had just hung up on with my mother, explaining how many projects I was juggling at the time and how I could not add any more. Guess what I said to this person who called to ask me to do this presentation? I said yes, because I loved the topic. The projects I were dealing with were all very significant and very heavy. I was promoting BYU Idaho Pathway Program at church to the YSA and also all the people in my state. So I was preparing to start a new business. I was taking a business self-reliance course. I was starting university after 27 years of not studying. I was refinancing. Does this sound, Jacqueline, I'm thinking of you. This kind of I was refinancing our investment home to save thousands on interest. I was organizing a YSA or Young Single Adult Ball for 1,200 people at a major convention center. And I had major home maintenance jobs on the thing. Plus more than in those, I had a dear friend who had no family and was dying in the hospital, and she did not want to die alone. So she asked me to be there when she died. She was in palliative care. So I was with her in the hospital until she died, which was 5 days. And I remember praying on that 5th day, because that was the new day of my new university after 27 years. I was supposed to start, and here I'm in palliative care. And I remember praying, saying, how long is it going to be? Because they said, oh, it could be up to 2 weeks before she goes. She was basically out of it, kind of unconscious. And so I prayed, okay, please, if it's her time, can you let her go? Because I have a lot of things to do. Within 1 hour, she died. The same experience happened. I have this thing is my dog was not well, and I was going to put him down the next day, and I didn't like to see him suffer. So I prayed, well, when can you please just let him go peacefully? And within 1 hour, he died. So yeah, I don't know if I would say prayers anymore because it happens quite quickly. But how did I manage all these things I was doing? My Heavenly Father, or God, gave me the strength and was my cheerleader, because all these things were significant, yet they all took a lot of time. And I still today am receiving the rewards of what I did that was 6 years ago back then. One of them is this presentation. I did this presentation 6 years ago. This morning, I woke up, got it out, make a few little edits, and I'm ready. So do you see that what I did 6 years ago was significant? That was a significant task that I accomplished, that I still am receiving benefits. And the benefits are even going on to everybody else that I teach the thing to. And it's because I was so passionate about the projects or tasks that I was doing that led me to all that achievement. So, okay, let's go to, we've talked about eliminate. Okay, we need to give ourselves permission. When we eliminate something, we have to ignore and say no. So if someone asks you to do something, there's all of us. Sometimes we say we're yes, yes, yes. And then afterwards we complain and whinge to our partner or kids that, oh, I'm just so busy. We have to give ourselves the permission to say no. And it's okay to say no. You are always saying no to something. Anytime you say yes to one thing, you are simultaneously saying no to something else. So don't think that you never say no if you're always saying yes. We are always saying no. So it's okay to actually verbalize and tell someone no. The next generation of time management is much about deciding what not to do as it is deciding what to do. Okay. Era 2, era 1 was about, oh, let's get as much done as we can. Oh, let's prioritize, but let's, where now it's like, do we need to get so much done? Where to the point that we burn out and don't get done what's really important. So we need to decide more, have a checklist of our day of what not to do rather than the things you need to do. So question, what are you currently saying yes to that is causing you, or a natural effect that you're saying no to your values, goals, or future dreams? And any thoughts? I'd love you to share those. I just had a little firefighter person, a person come in that wanted something, and then she saw us in a thing and she quickly went out. Thank goodness.
So Sherri, I'm saying yes to getting my website done and getting the spending planner done, and saying no to going out in my garden. And this morning I said yes to going to the pool instead of saying I was going to go to a BX meeting, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to be sitting be still and sitting most of today. I'll be still and sitting most of Thursday and Friday. I need to get to the pool. And so I went to the pool this morning and didn't go to a business meeting. So,
excellent.
Yeah.
And that would have given you energy, because I've been walking now for a month now, and it invigorates the mind. And when you get home from that walk, you are very effective.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's good pain management for me as well. So, because if I sit, I end up with fluid in that ankle, and it starts causing pain. And of course, once I've got pain, I'm less effective.
Exactly. Wonderful. Suzette or Jacqueline?
What was the question again?
What are you saying yes to that is causing you to say no to something else?
So many projects.
What, you're saying yes to, or you're saying no to?
Oh, that I'm saying yes to. Like right now I have 2 quilts that are on my quilting machine. I have 2 quilts on my ironing board. All of them have to be done here because they need to be to who they go to by the end of this month. And so I'm not doing what I need to do. I'm not doing the other things I need to do, because that, I'm not making money off of any of those. Well, one of them I am, but the others I'm not. And so they just need to get done. But they've been sitting there forever because I just haven't gotten them done. So I'm saying no to my writing. I'm saying no to planning the events that I need to be doing. I'm saying no to a lot of things that I need to be doing those instead. But so then I would say in the future, you need to, before you say yes to something, think of the long term. And we know that with the spending plan. What's the long-term implication by saying yes now? What are you going to have to say no to so that we can make those better choices? Suzette, do you have anything?
I'm actually in such a turmoil. I don't know what to say to anything.
Okay. Yes. Yes. And understanding. Yeah. And totally understanding in what's happened in your life in the last year. And that's okay. Sometimes it's okay to just stop and do nothing. That we need to take. And I can't remember. Someone said recently that it's okay. We think if we're not moving forward, we're moving backward. No, sometimes we just need to be stationary, and we just need to fall on the ground and just not move until we get strength to move forward.
The one thing I have done is that Jacqueline got my nails done in August, and I'm keeping them up, and I don't care about the money. I don't care about the time. I just want my nails nice, and that's enough.
Very good. Well done. I won't show you my nails. Very good. And that's one thing that you see all the time. It's a reminder that you're important and that you need to take care of you, because as mothers, we're always taking care of everybody else in the community. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. I will just, okay. So here are some things that we can eliminate. Watching Netflix. Now, I'm not a Netflix watcher, but I can see how you can get addicted to it. But that takes a lot of time. And when you watch Netflix or TV or scrolling on your phone, you get the reward immediately. Do you get that reward long term? No. In order to do it, you have to keep doing it. So you have to get that high of watching a show, you need to watch the next show. You have to watch the next one and the next one. And so it's kind of like a sieve. As mothers, we know that when you house clean, it's like putting water through a sieve. It never stays done. You always have to keep doing it. And that's what it is with a lot of tasks in our life that we need to look at and see, okay, is this thing even bringing us any long-term? Is it multiplying our time, or is it just wasting or spending our time? So you'll hear me talk about spending time and investing time. Attending this workshop, you are investing time, because the things you're going to learn today, you're going to be able to implement, and it's going to save you time in the future. Then there's spending time. Spending time is like watching Netflix, scrolling on here. It's stuff that, sharing your opinion on everything. Then you're going to find another thing to share your opinion on. There are things that you have to get that reward. You have to keep doing it. And that takes time. Being overly thorough or excessive, checking your phone every time it beeps, or your emails. So there's some things, those are just a few of things that we can eliminate, and think, how much time do you spend on these things? How often do you get caught up? And I don't anymore, but there was times, and some, very rare, you see a post on and someone's saying something and you just have an opinion, and 2 hours have passed and you've shared your opinion, and after you think, okay. Or your children call you and say, Mom, why did you say that? And I'm thinking, yeah, should have just shut my mouth. So what are the things that you need to, and I think on your worksheet, it says, what can I eliminate? What are some of the things in your day that you find that you do that is only bringing, and I'm not saying to stop cleaning your house. We do that is something that we spend time doing every day. It's not an investment, because you do it, and then within 5 minutes, if you have kids, they've come and messed it up. So I learned very quickly as a mom of 5. I didn't deep clean my house every day or do that. I just did a quick thing because I knew it was going to be messed up. I kept it to just a certain standard. But what things are you going to eliminate so that you can be more productive? Okay, we're going to go on to the second one, which is automate. This is my favorite. The hidden principle of automation is your time, what compounding interest is to your money. So compounding interest, I have $1,000. I'm going to go put it in a bank with some decent interest, and it is happily going up for savers, for debtors. That's not a good thing if you have a mortgage. But if you're trying to save, if you put $1,000 in a bank, then that's a one-time thing. You've just deposited money in a bank. Now, over time, it is going to compound and increase. Before a few months ago, we did our financial plan, made sure that that was all right, because we have about 10 years before my husband retires. We got all that set up. We put a lump sum in our superannuation or 401k in the US. And that one transfer of money now is, it's automated, and that's being invested and creating more money for us. So, like I said, time and debt is bad news. So if you have debt, the longer you have it, that's not good. But if you have money in savings, the longer you have it is good news. Okay, so time is money. So invest time today that will give you more time tomorrow, or invest money today that will give you more time tomorrow. And you'll hear at the end of an 8-week course that I've just started, and this is actually the first one, which is free to everyone, in how you can invest time now to set up and organize your finances in a proven system that you will then have a lot more money in the future.
And time.
And time. Oh, exactly. So what used to take me a couple of hours every couple of weeks to do my finances now is less than 5 minutes, because I've made a plan, I've created it, and now I just follow and maintain it. Okay, so what is the permission we need to give ourselves for automate? Is we need to invest. We need to be willing to invest time now for something that you'll get in the future. So anything you create a process for today that saves you tomorrow. So automation. I want you to think, what things do you have automated? I know it wasn't only until about 10 years ago that we got a dishwasher. Yeah, I know. My husband was kind of an anti-dishwasher thing because his mother didn't have a dishwasher. I didn't get a microwave until his mother got a microwave. It was just, I finally just went and bought one. And it was just one at a garage sale, but I got this dishwasher and did it change my life. Now we did. He has since bought me a really nice dishwasher quite a few years ago because he could see how much it automated that dinner hour. And so what are the things that you're doing over and over again that you can invest time or money into automating? Now, another thing that I've just got for Christmas was a robo vac, one of those portable things. That is the best thing. It is so good. And so that's one way I've automated. So I have my dishes being automated. We all had our washing machines. I mean, our grandmothers and great-grandmothers probably didn't, but we do. We have an automatic washing machine. I now have something that cleans. I just wish I had an automatic cook, which I do. I have a Thermomix, which does kind of do a lot of it without me having to stand there. But what are the things that you do over and over again in your day or in your week that you can automate? Here's some ideas. Have a routine and schedule so that you don't have to think every day, what am I going to do today? Just know it's Wednesday. This is what I do today. Of course, you're going to have flexibility, but at least have a basic routine. Decide once to follow your beliefs or your vision or your values. I always taught my kids, especially as they are approaching high school, we do not drink. We do not smoke. We do not have relations with the opposite sex in high school. Let's make a choice now so that when that question comes to you or that decision comes to you, you've already made the choice when you were thinking clearly. Mm-hmm. You didn't do it with peer pressure. And so deciding once to follow your beliefs, because so many times we're sitting there redeciding whether we're going to be true to ourselves, which takes time. Appliances, technologies, apps. One app that I have that I use all the time in my business is called Text Expander. The amount of times, it's like little macros. So when I have to type in my Facebook group link or anything, I have little things that I can just type in. I don't have them memorized. I have them just up ahead of me on my computer, so I never type all these full things in that I do on a daily basis. And I save close to under an hour a day just by using this one app and not having to retype in everything.
Excuse me, Sherry. So that's on your computer. I've got one in
No.
my phone.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
it's
on my
your phone.
computer. Yeah, that's on
your
my computer. Yeah.
because I need one on my computer, but I've
Yeah.
got one on my phone because
Yeah.
I've got very long email addresses. It's very annoying.
Yes. Like my email address is very long, and so I just have to do that. Finances. Okay. Automate your finances. And that's what I teach in the spending plan course, is to initially set up your spending plan and how you're going to spend based on your values and your beliefs. Automate it so that things are just, your bills are just getting paid. There's no choice. Oh, am I going to pay that bill? It's automated. That choice that you've decided, I'm going to never be late on a bill, so I'm going to automate my bills. And the spending plan system will let you know that you can do that on that specific day in the future. There will be money in your bank account because you'll be able to see. Okay, sorry, my husband's calling. About to turn my phone off. Do it later. That's an app I have on my phone. It's an app that you can send texts. You can schedule text to send later. So often, even in my classes, in my workshops, if someone wants a reminder, if they have a homework task, and it's a way that I can remind them, I'll say, hey, I'll send you a text every 2 days to remind you to do that to do that task. So I don't have to think every day, if I'm sending them a text every day for a week, I don't have to create that text every day. I create it once and say reoccur for 7 days. And so that's a brilliant app. It's called Do It Later. There it is. Do it later. Otter. If you're in a place and you're to save time, you can Otter is converts from audio to text. So if you're in a conference or going somewhere and you just want to focus and listen and not take notes, just Otter it. It will actually transcribe it straight into text, and then you can go in and pull out the things there. So that's another way. So think of ways that you can automate. I'm always looking for ways to create a system. For example, I heard, this man, he never took his shoes off and he always took them off in the side of the bed. Would never put them in his closet. So the woman decided, well, why don't I just put his shoe rack right on the side of his bed? I mean, if he's not going to do it, then at least I'll create a system that's going to make it okay, rather than me, not saying that my husband does that, but think of systems in your home. And having the 5 children, I was always looking for ways, because I think all of us are naturally lazy. So we have to wait. And my family still says, Mom, you're always looking for shortcuts. Yeah, I am. I'm always looking for an efficient, faster way to do anything, so that, especially for the things that I have to do, so that I can have time for the things I want to do. Okay, so do you spend your time or do you invest your time? Think of the things you've done today. Were they things that you're going to have to do again to get a reward? Or have you done something today that is going to give you benefit in the future as well? So you got the result today. Say, like Jacqueline, if you're doing a quilt, you did maybe a square foot of it. That's done. You're going to enjoy that tomorrow. It's still going to be done. Okay. And so we need to think how we can invest our time. The next one on our focus bundle is delegate, which is the Hatch principle. And the number one difficulty in delegating is wrestling with the thought, I could do it better and faster if I did it myself. Sure, you've never thought of that as a mother.
My problem is I show up at the event and they haven't done it at all. And then it's a crisis.
Right. Then you're the firefighter. Yes.
Right. Then you learn very quickly who not to delegate to.
Yes, exactly. Totally agree. The reason why it's such an internal battle is because many cases, it's true, you can do it better than others, but we only have so much time, and so we have to delegate. You probably could do it faster, but there would probably be less risk if you just took care of it. So leadership isn't about getting things done right. It's about getting things done through people. Being a good parent is not getting things done right. It's by teaching our children to do things and teaching them skills. And so the delegate process is, if you think of a bird, when birds are born, they're in a shell. Baby birds are born and they struggle to fight and break through their own shell to get free, to be hatched. It is the process of their own struggle to break out of their shell that strengthens their wings to the point which they can then fly. If their mama or any other force happen to break the egg open for them, then once they are out of the egg, they will attempt to fly, but they will fall and they will die. For their wings have not had the power to support themselves because they were not appropriately developed during the hatching process. It is through this struggle that we delegate, that we develop our strength. So I really love that our children may not be able to do it as good as us initially, but eventually they'll be able to probably do it better. But it's going to take time, just like anything we're good at. It took us time to get good at it. And thankfully, someone allowed us to do that. So it is a service to allow someone the natural process of making their own mistakes. When you delegate, what's the permission you have to give yourself? This is the emotional permission. So the left side is the emotional. This is where emotional time management stuff is emotional, is we have to accept that something will be done imperfect. And that's okay. It will only be imperfect for a short period of time. Eventually, it will become more perfected than we could have done it by ourselves. Okay, so there again, leadership is about getting things done, not getting things done right, but by getting things done by other people. So what tasks are you hanging on to that you need to let go, let it go, let it go? What do you need to let go control of that you could delegate to someone else? And yes, Jacqueline, you made a good point. When we delegate, sometimes it's faster to do it yourself, because you have to actually teach them how to do it, or you already know how to do it. So the time you're teaching someone, you could actually be doing it, getting it done. But again, we have to look long-term. You know, I have interns, I have a virtual assistant. If I didn't take time to train them, then I wouldn't have the results of what they now accomplish for me. So go ahead, Jacqueline.
The hardest thing with that is when you're in charge of an organization and they make a mistake or they don't do a good job, it now reflects on the name of the organization.
Yeah.
Not necessarily me, you know, whatever, my stuff. But when the organization's name is going to look bad, that's the hard part. We were just discussing this yesterday, that we have a rummage sale coming up that I swore I will not do. But the person doing it is not going to be doing it. And so now who's going to be doing it? I'm going to be doing it on the condition that we never do it again.
Yes.
That's the only condition.
Boundaries.
We're not going to sign up to do it. We're going to say, we're not doing this again. We're not going to set ourselves up for failure. And I think that's the hard thing when you're in a leadership position of an organization. Your own personal life, that's different. But when you're in an organization, you have to plan ahead for the failure so that you can strategically make your way without the failures happening less and less in the future. So.
Yes, I totally agree. And I know when my husband and I were in charge of this committee there's about 60 of them. We plan these major events for the singles in Brisbane. I used a project management Trello app, and I made them. My whole job was just to keep everybody accountable and always asking for progress reports, because the last thing I wanted was them to come up and say, I haven't had time to do my assignment and it's the day before and it's going to affect everybody. And so that was my job. And it was a lot of work. That was a job in itself, was always following up with people. Give me a progress report. Every week I want a progress report. And just being an ag, which I was. But yeah, definitely that's a hard, challenging when you are doing it with other people. So here are some things that you could delegate. House chores, always being right. Let someone else be right for a while. Who cares? Let someone else feel, in business, get a virtual assistant. I use interns. They're free. Virtual assistants from the Philippines are like $5 an hour. So they're things that don't cost a lot, but they make a huge difference. And so we delegate. So now if we can't eliminate, can't automate, and can't delegate a task, because remember the task comes in the top, then we have a decision to make. You have to do it. You can't get rid of it. It's important. You have to do it. The question is, do you do it now? Or do you do it later? That's your question. Is it so important that I have to do it now? Or can I do it later? And that brings me to the next part, which is the procrastinate on purpose. Now, here we go. We concentrate and we do it now. So if you notice, eliminate, automate, delegate, concentrate, so you have to do it now, or procrastinate on purpose. Okay, so let's talk about the procrastination, the fisherman principle. No amount of skill can make up for inappropriate timing. So we learned this. My family, we went fishing a few years ago. We thought, yep, we went and we got nothing. We found out we went the wrong time of the day. Now, we weren't skilled, but even if we were skilled, we would not have caught fish. So the timing of doing things is so important. A multiplier of time does things precisely on time. They do not do it too early. They do not do it late. For those with a spending plan, we teach you, do not pay installments on your upcoming bills. The spending plan will help you make a plan so you're saving for them for the whole year, so that when it comes to pay it, you can pay it in the lump sum, which is a lot cheaper. So you never pay it late, but you don't pay it early either. And so that's the fisherman principle. The permission we have to give ourselves, it's going to be incomplete. Okay, we might have some projects, we just have to be okay that they're not completed right now because they're not that important. We've prioritized. Yes, Jacqueline.
On the flyer here, it has 2 more columns. Is this what we're talking about? Yours divides into
so
2.
the first one is eliminate. The second one is automate.
Right.
The third one is delegate.
Yes.
And concentrate, and then procrastinate on purpose.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So it's okay to wait. It's okay to slow down. It's okay to be okay. Things are never as bad as they feel or as good as they sound. So procrastination, now most of you have heard of procrastination, it's a negative word. Procrastination, which is waiting because we know we should do it, but we don't want to do it. For example, if you have a gym membership and you just are procrastinating, go to the gym, that's procrastination and that's not good. But what we're talking about is procrastination on purpose, which is patience. Waiting because we are deciding that now, right now, today, timing is not the right time to do that. And when it comes to your spending and your finances, you may want to go on a trip at Christmas. but it's October already. You may not be able to get the funds together to pay for that. So it's just having patience to do something. That going on a trip is good, but it's just not right now. That's something that you would procrastinate on purpose. Procrastinating on purpose, there is a power in the discipline of acting and the patience of waiting. Sometimes we think too black and white. Oh, I can't get it. No, you just can't get it now. So what are some things that you need to procrastinate on purpose? One, we need to procrastinate on purpose, spontaneous purchases. If we're at the shop and we hadn't planned to go buy a new TV or a computer or whatever it is, or a car. How many people I've heard they go out and they hadn't planned to buy a new car, but they come home with a new car. That is something you need to procrastinate on purpose. You need to go home, think 24 hours, and chances are you probably won't go back and buy it. So that's large purchases, emotionally charged opinions. If you're really feeling, you see that post and you really feel like you want to give your opinion, give yourself a day or so and see, because you'll probably talk yourself out of it. And plus it's a time waster. Really, people really don't care about your opinion. Business tasks, busy work in a business. I can understand that there's work that actually brings in money, then there's work that doesn't. So you have to procrastinate certain things so that you can do things every day that actually is going to make a difference and pay the bills. Okay, so we have concentrate now. Okay, so if we're not going to procrastinate it on purpose, in fact, that's the last one on our funnel is concentrate. So the one above it is procrastinate on purpose. If you can't procrastinate it, so again, if you can't eliminate it, if you can't automate it, if you can't delegate it, if you can't procrastinate it on purpose, then you need to actually concentrate on it now and do that now. And when we have a task that needs to be done now, and again, hopefully these tasks aren't the emergency ones because you're being a firefighter, that they're ones that then you need to protect the time so that you can do that now. Turn off your phone, get away from the computer so that you can focus on that thing that needs to be done. The concentration principle is like the harvest. Work double time, part-time. So farmers, they plant, they work really hard to plow the ground and plant. Then they have full-time free time until it's time to harvest. Then it's double time, part-time again. Okay, so we need to concentrate at times to get things done so that it can help us in the future. So it's coming to the end of 2022. If you weren't really good with your time this year and you want to do better, then by not making a plan for 2023, then it's not going to get better. You need to concentrate, get out a calendar, and best to do it before the 1st of January, and plan what you want to accomplish. Plan a routine, plan your schedules. Of course they will change, but at least get a thing so that you can do that. Don't just be a firefighter. Become a seed planter. Until you accomplish your next significant priority or task, everything else is a distraction. Your highest obligation to others is to become your highest self. So procrastinating on purpose is temporarily ignore the small stuff so you can concentrate on the big stuff. And sometimes it's not even a really big thing that takes a lot of time, but it is something that if you do it, it has a domino effect. And if you do one thing, it basically takes care of all these other things because it's a natural progression. So what areas of your life do you need to protect and concentrate on? Thinking back to your values and your beliefs and what's really important to you, what do you need to concentrate on? So today, what is something you need to concentrate on today that is going to make You'll get reward today, but you're also going to get a reward in the future. Is there anything on your tasks today that fits into that?
I don't know if this is what you're asking, but I need to get some things off of my plate.
Yeah.
These have deadlines. I just need to get them done, but not bring new ones in.
Yes.
So that I can be focusing on the things that I need to be focusing on. So that's mine.
Yeah. So maybe for you, it's what's going to be important to you. Let's get rid of the stuff. Just like with finances, when I teach people to organize their finances, some come with debt. Before we start saving for anything else or spending or investing time or spending time on other things, we have to get rid of the debt. And so same with the things. So Jacqueline, you have things that you just need to get done. And then you also can be thinking while you're getting them done, what is the things that are going to be most important that I'm actually going to plan for the future? And what am I going to do to put into place so that I don't keep having other things come in? Vicki or Suzette?
So today my most important thing is seeing clients. So I've got clients booked in, and I just decided I need to do some self-care so I could do this and get my client stuff done. And yeah, my next big task is getting the website finished so that I can start generating more income.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yes, because when I did my website in 2020, it just makes a huge, it's done. It stays done. And that's what is a significant task, is something you do that stays done and you still enjoy the benefits and results. And a website is definitely
It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done.
It does. And too, that takes care of the automation as well.
Yeah.
And it also takes care of the delegation. The website kind of takes all of that.
Yeah. I'm getting I think I had 10 referrals last week, and for my business programs, for helping people in having a wellness program at work, and but I don't have anything to show for it, and so I'm procrastinating about responding because I don't have anything. When all I can do is have a phone call with people and have a chat with them.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking what I might do first up is do like a tick list so that they can give their staff. Do you wake up with a sore back? Do you get a sore shoulder while you're at work? Just go through stuff so that they can get a bit of an idea. Okay, do people want to have? Do people feel like their bodies are stressed and they need some help? If so, well, maybe I can come in and give them a hand.
Yeah. And I know when I started my business and started doing one-on-one mentoring with people, sometimes I was just one step ahead of my clients.
Yes.
I was creating as I was going. So you don't have to have it perfect.
No.
To do it. Just get that and and look at things that if I do this, it will eliminate all these other tasks naturally.
Yeah.
Suzette, do you have anything that you need to concentrate on?
Okay, sorry, couldn't find the unmute button.
That's right.
What I found is that I need to give myself time, but not forget what I need to get done. Like I eliminated scrapbooking from my life. Wish I had that talent, don't, but I haven't gotten all the paper I don't need thrown out yet. So it's one step at a time. Give yourself credit when you've gotten to the point where you can say, I'm letting this go. And then if you get time or, don't forget to follow up and clear it out so it really is done with. That's just me.
Yeah. And I'm crocheting at the moment. And I know that if something really comes up, that's the first thing I get rid of. Well, today I haven't even done it. After this, I've been working all morning, and then I'll go do my crocheting. That's my reward for doing the things this morning, which I got a lot done, which will stay done. And then I can go do that. Really, does anyone care if I crochet? In fact, luckily, my husband, he every night he says, "Oh, so what are you doing?" You know, he loves to see how it makes me relaxed. But does it really matter? Not really. It's just a really good therapeutic thing for me. Okay, we're getting towards the end, I think, here. So what are some things that you can concentrate on? Personal development or spirituality, family relationships. You know, in family relationships, love is really spelled Time. We spend the time with the things that we say are the most important to us. And that's one reason why I pulled back a little bit in being in my office, is because I was spending a lot of time in my office, and my grandkids were saying, "Oh, Grandma, you always work." And so I'm doing things. And so I've started crocheting because I stopped being in my office so much, but it's like, okay, now what do I do? I was like, so that's why I keep my hands busy, my mind, and I can do that. And I'm actually teaching my grandchildren. So it's working both. For some people, if they're, in that age, career planning and education is something they need to concentrate on then, because you don't want to be doing education when you have 4 kids. It's best if you do it and concentrate to do it when you're single, and put maybe some social aside for a while, or only socialize a few times a week rather than 7 times a week. Okay. So let's checkpoint questions. Number 1, eliminate. In fact, I'm going to ask who can recite them. What are the 5 things?
Eliminate, automate, delegate, concentrate, and procrastinate.
Okay, you got, except we need to swap those last 2 around. Jacqueline, can you do that and swap the last 2 around?
Okay, eliminate, automate, delegate. That's the one I struggle with. Delegate, procrastinate, and then concentrate.
Yes, and remember, it's procrastinate on purpose. Is it's a planned thing, because it's important, but not now. You can do that later. Okay, so eliminate is, can I live without this? These are some questions you can ask yourself. Automate, can it be systemized? Delegate, can it be done by someone else? And yes, it will be imperfect initially, but eventually it will be better. Procrastinate, can it wait until later? And then concentrate. That it's what's the next significant thing that you can do or task that's going to make other things so much easier or fall into place. And so this is how you multiply your time. And so you'll see there. So we just had our pop quiz. So if you have the worksheet, you can be filling that in. So as multipliers, we know we shouldn't waste time. We're not good enough to merely spend time. Instead, we need to invest time. Invest in doing things in our day. Of course, we have to do things that we spend time doing that we have to do again tomorrow, but at least get one thing on our day done that is investing, so that you can go to bed and think, well, at least that stayed done. Yes, Jacqueline.
I think one of the biggest things as mothers is menu planning. Planning a menu, because I do not like shopping. It is my least favorite thing to do. And if you menu plan and you say, okay, I know that we're going to have this, then you eliminate so much. You free up so much time.
And money.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And the other thing about menu planning, because I lived in share houses quite a lot when I was a single mom. And
what is that? What's a share house? I don't know what that means.
Well, I would be renting a house and I'd have other people renting rooms as well. So we were, so it was myself and my son and other people.
Okay.
And so, you know, we all came from different backgrounds. We had different likes and dislikes. And so we'd sit down all together one day on the weekend and decide what we wanted. Everyone got a choice about what they wanted to eat or cook on the week, during the week. And we just wrote it up on a whiteboard, and then we wrote the shopping list that corresponded to that. And so everybody knew that if there were avocados in the refrigerator, and we were having tacos one day this week. You couldn't eat the avocados until we had the tacos. And that saved a lot of arguments, but it also meant that any night of the week, any day of the week when someone felt like cooking, they could look at the list and go, okay, I want to do tacos tonight. I'm going to cook tacos. And so it wasn't a particular day, but we had meals planned, and it meant that we could shop to a budget, and you didn't have to worry. You didn't have to think, oh God, what am I going to cook? I don't know what's in the refrigerator, and then no one would do it. And it just made life so much less stressful.
Excellent. And then, there's so many ways that you can, like I used to do bulk cooking. It's one setup, cook, and one cleanup. Where if I were to make those meals, and sometimes I'd make a whole month's meals, it'd be so much more time because I'd have a setup and a cleanup for every meal, as opposed to doing it as a bulk. So thank you for sharing those. Okay, so the question is what will you choose to be? Do you want to be a runner? Are you a runner? Do you want to be a juggler? Are you a juggler? Or do you want to be a seed planter? I have always chosen to be a seed planter. I have not always. I've experienced both of these, but generally, as a mother of 5, I made a choice very early on that we were going to get a house near a school. I was not going to be the mother that was driving their kid 20 minutes to school because there were other things that I had to do. And so I make myself I am busy. I keep myself busy, but it's not a need busy. So if anyone ever needs anything, I'm usually available. But I'm always looking forward. Like I was just thinking this weekend, okay, it's Christmas in 3 months. We need to get together as family and make some plans. Let's not procrastinate it to the point where you think, oh, it's now too late to organize that. And so you multiply your time by giving yourself emotional permission to invest time into things today that will create more time tomorrow. So how will you spend or invest your given time? So these are some words to remember: stewardship of your time, multiply your time, significant calculation. How significant? Use this significant factor. Is this something that I'm going to do today that's going to get rewards today, plus on into the future? Invest your time and concentrate on your one thing. What one thing can you do today that will really make a lot of other things you need to do so much easier? Now, here is the video. You want to write this down: How to Multiply Your Time by Rory Vaden. This is where I first watched this 18-minute TEDx and was like, I love this. So that will be a great review to the presentation today. We talked about time today. We've talked about money. So I will be emailing you a webinar handout. Also, if you're interested in having a free one-on-one 30-minute planning session, I don't know if you, and this is mainly with Google Calendar. If you have Google or Gmail and you don't use a calendar system, an electronic one, I do that and it's brilliant. You don't have to keep reminding yourself. It will remind you for you. So that is available. And for that, you just need to, here's the booking link to book that in. Also, if you don't have a spending plan, you can book in a free session to learn the benefits and see a quick demo of the spending plan. That includes free access to my introductory course. And if you want that, then you can book in that same link, as well as this is an actual sign-up form in the chat that you'll see. And I think I put it here. You'll see, I'll show you how to do that. If you haven't liked my Facebook page, Essential Spending Planner, that's to learn more about the spending plan. I'm currently starting a new group today. Today is week 1. which I opened up to everybody, and it goes till the 23rd. And we create a spending plan for you. And then that's the price in Australian dollars. But anyone who's willing to do this course and wants to do it, we have installment programs. And I will never stop anyone or not let someone come and do this course due to money, because I know that if I don't help them, then they won't get help and they'll be at the mercy of broken budgeting. So if you're interested in that, that's also on a form that's coming up. These are just some of the things that we cover. A few that are on the call today have done that, and they come back and keep redoing it for a minimal monthly cost. But I do have something that I want to introduce and to share with family and friends is Dovember. So we've all heard of Movember, where everyone, yeah. Okay, well now this is Dovember. And in the month of November, and it's going to be an hour before the actual paid course. So it's at 6 o'clock instead of 7 and 10:30 instead of 11:30 on a Wednesday, is for $1, which is the cost it costs me to give you access to a trial access to spending plan software, which is only normally $10 a month anyway. But for that $1, you will be able to attend 4 online training workshops. Now, I will not mention here, I do have a full online course that is not included in this $1. So basically, you get access to the software. You come for the 4 weeks, and basically I'm teaching you the very, very basics, and we actually only go through your essential basic costs. That's how we just use those, which is about 10 ways you spend your money, the top 10 things you spend your money on. We put all that in. I help you create a spending plan for those essential things that you have to have and make sure you have money for. The concepts then are the same as you enter in more. So that is a promotion that I'll be starting to promote in the next week or so, called November. So if you know anybody, and then what will happen is at the end of that 4 weeks, they will be given an opportunity to join my 2023 January 8-week course for a discount. And if they do it at the end of that course, the normal course is $497, and that will be discounted if they go through this. So that's exciting. That's a way just to get people to check it out and have a play with it and then decide. So the link that I put there, which was the spending plan services, that second link, you'll go to the spending plan course section. If you want access to the free course, which anybody's available to, you can just check this one. Okay, that basically teaches you the difference between a budget and a spending plan, and also tells you all my services. If you're interested in Dovember, then it's that one. And if you're interested in the 8-week group course, which started today, so it's still not too late, then you can do that. And again, there are installments that can be done on that. And that's the 8-week one. So please share the news. And I'm just going to finish with my favorite saying, which is multiply your time and money by giving yourself emotional permission. Because remember, time management is emotional, not logical, so that you will invest time today and money if you're going to do the course. And like I said, it's only $1 in August, in November. If you do that, you will then receive more time and money tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to, just to finish off, I want to hear what are some light bulb moments that you had today that you'll be able to go and implement. We'll start with Suzette. Are you there, Suzette?
Maybe.
Okay. Okay, let's go to Jacqueline.
So today I worked with my daughter on a whole bunch of writing stuff to help me with my writing. So I was using, she's an editor, so it was really helpful. We spent about 2 hours going over what I need to do to perfect my writing, and so that I can work on that more steadily, because that's where an income comes in. So, and that's what my goal is. So I put in some time today that I'm going to see a lot of return from. So
excellent. And so what concept of today's really stood out to you?
I think really, well, all of them, but you really can't do them without doing them in order.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
every task that comes, you have to take it through and see if it can, because some things may get down to concentrate and you have to do it now. You can't procrastinate it. You can't delegate it.
Right. And if you're procrastinating the wrong things or delegating the wrong things, you end up just creating more busyness and more stress. So, yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes if you find that you put a task through and you procrastinate it, and then the picture was you then go and put it to the top of the funnel again and let it go through. And if you find that it just keeps coming through over and over again and you keep procrastinating, chances are you probably should have eliminated it the first time.
Yeah.
So it must not have been that important if you never had to concentrate on it or delegate it. So, yeah. Excellent. Jacqueline and Vicki.
For me, it was giving myself emotional permission, because I do a lot of internal battle with myself about what my decisions are. And yeah, like Jacqueline said, you really have to go through that whole process and eliminate, I think, is, there's things that I do when I'm procrastinating, but not procrastinating with intent. I'm just procrastinating.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do a lot of things that could be eliminated, and I would be less stressed. I'd get more things done and be more productive. And so it's a really nice little reminder. And I think when that little worksheet comes through, I think I'll print it up and just put it up somewhere.
Yeah, put that up.
So I can see it. Yeah, because because often when I'm procrastinating, it's because I'm scared that I'm not going to do it right. I'm not going to do it well enough. Don't know what the next step is, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And as we learned with the spending plan, we monitor we create it, and then it only takes 5 to 10 minutes to monitor your plan. You need to attach it, because that's a new habit. And so we need to get into a habit, we need to attach it to a habit that we already do. Okay. So that other habit is a fun one, so, have a nice dessert. So whenever you do your finances, you have your favorite dessert, and it's a reward because you're doing that task. But also attach it to another task that you do religiously, and then that will help remind you. And rewards. We work well with rewards. We're kind of like dogs. You give us a reward, and so use rewards to. And like I was just saying to have a daughter who's, 21 and always wanting to go here, there, and everywhere. And so yesterday I had to remind her as she's walking out the door, okay, just take a couple minutes and go tidy your room, and a couple minutes and tidy the bathroom, because we need to work and make our fun the reward. Where if you do the fun first, you're never going to put in the work. So always that's where that self-discipline is do that hard thing. What's that one thing you need to do today that if you do it, you can then have more time and then treat yourself to something fun that you want to do. That is just spending time. Like my crocheting is kind of spending time. I am creating something, but so we have to have those motivators. those type of tasks. Okay, Suzette, are you there with us?
I think she may have stepped away.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming. I hope you were enlightened on how to better self-manage your time and to become a seed planter, to multiply your time, to stop being a firefighter, and to give yourself emotional permission to do things today that will give you more time in the future. So think long term, and so that you can enjoy things much better. Okay. Did you have something to say, Jacqueline?
I do. I think this perfectly describes, though, the spending plan.
Oh, it
too,
does.
because, you know, I mean, this is such a good bridge between the two, because, you know, you can eliminate some bills because you realize you don't need them if you're prioritizing somewhere else.
Exactly.
So
that's right. And some people realize they just can't afford it. A budget doesn't show you that they couldn't afford it. A spending plan does. And so then they have to go and eliminate things. Then we automate. So we touch our money as least as possible by automatic transfers and just knowing things and direct debits. And we delegate the money stress to the spending plan system. It will take care of it. You put in the correct information, it will put it. And then procrastinating on purpose is, yes, you may want to go on that holiday. It's not that you can't, you just can't right now. And the spending plan will tell you when you can do that. And then, of course, there's some things that we need to concentrate on right now. And that is, if you have consumer debt, that should be your number one financial priority, is to get out of consumer debt, because that's the past. And we want to get out of the past, because a spending plan is all about the future. But you can't have and start saving for a future if you're still paying for the past. So thank you for bringing that up. That is so true. Okay, so please, if you want to save the chat for those links, feel free to book in a session. I will see Vicki and Jacqueline next week. So next week we will be going into in the full 8-week course. We'll be touching on bank structure and essential bank structure and your essential expenses. So if you have any things that you have questions on that you want me to cover next week, then you can add that too. And again, there's still time for people to join the course and again, installments are available. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. And I will be sending out via the registration that you did via Zoom. That's what it does. It collects emails. So I have your email so that I can send you the handout as well as this recording, so that if you want to watch it again or share it with someone, feel free to do that. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and look at something that you can do significant before you go to bed, so that you can enjoy the results tomorrow and in the future.
Suzette here. Thank you. I was listening and I did get distracted. It was wonderful.
Oh, good, Suzette. Well, I'll send you the recording so that if you want to go through and rehash any of this stuff. But it was good to have you here.
Thank you. I'd love that. Take
care. Bye-bye.
Nice to meet you, Suzette. Bye.
Bye.